perhaps is off to a busy start, but I'm delighted that Michael Stemmle, CEO of Additiv, is taking a few minutes to have a chat with us. So hello, Michael. I wonder if we could kick off with you telling us a little bit about you and about Additiv.
Actually, Additiv as a company and me as an entrepreneur didn't start with financial services. We came from the marketing side, and sports marketing, lead management, and so on, and also had clients in the financial service space, where we mainly did the front parts, the marketing automation, the early internet stuff, and then a little bit the later ones. And what we have realized first is that clients do not want to actually go to a branch. So we went into fintech very early without, knowing that it's called fintech and didn't exist as a discipline. So we're kind of a dinosaur where we like to experiment and to find business solutions driven or enabled by technology and experiment with business models. And being an early fintech player, mainly focusing on wealth management, we started to realize that the way the industry, the financial service industry, is producing and reaching out to clients, it's somehow very old-fashioned. So we start to believe that the platform strategies or a flexible sourcing and a new operating model is needed, and also new distribution models are needed to reach people there where they are and where they have the needs. So embedded finance came into place, and the platform that orchestrates end-to-end value chains, and you can source flexibly. That's what Additiv is doing today.
Great, I like that story of the journey into fintech without realizing you were fintech. And I wonder if you can, focusing on embedded finance a little bit more, can you give us a sense of what you see as the scale of the opportunity? And crucially, you touched on this a little bit, what is the benefit to the customer?
Well, there are two kinds of financial services you can embed. First ones are the transactional ones, the early ones, like payment, but also consumer loans, credit, which is obvious. Now we see the next stage of the relational embedded finance services, especially wealth management. And when we look at society, what's one of the biggest problems we have is the pension gap and longevity. And accessibility in a lot of emerging markets, accessibility to sophisticated investment solutions. So the opportunity, as we have calculated, is multi-trillion ones. You can address now segments and markets you haven't addressed yet with embedded wealth, and you can address them there where it matters most.
Great, so really eases that journey for the end user or the customer. And looking ahead a little bit and about the opportunity from a kind of distribution perspective to embed these products and services into non-financial brands, do you see this as a real game changer? And just as importantly, do you think the established providers are prepared, aware of these shifts that are on the horizon?
Well, two questions. First, where is the distribution opportunity, or what kind of needs you have from the demand side? What actually a platform is doing, bringing demand supply side together. So let's start with the demand side. You have three typical situations. First, you would like to renovate your existing business model. IFAs, independent advisors, and so on, that they can offer more and more sophisticated, in a more sophisticated way to their end clients, and to also address new revenue streams. Then you can complement, financial service providers or insurance companies already having access, already, for example, providing pension services, but do not have any particular wealth offering, because regulatory-wise they're not allowed to today, so they need a partner where they can source and can embed in their today's proposition, as one example. And last but not least, where we see the biggest potential, it's the innovate part, where the super apps, which we see in Asia in particular, and which going to dominate also in our markets here in Europe and in the US, like the client relationships and the distribution power. Like this in a way part, we see the biggest potential there. It's early stage here, late stage probably already with and financials and likes in Asia, but there we see the biggest potential to create value. Also for the supplier, if they are open, and when we say suppliers like regulated existing financial service companies, if they're open to think in ecosystems and not in ecosystems. And that's going to be the biggest change.
Great. Well, thank you so much for giving us that overview of the opportunities that lay in embedding wealth management tools and products in other customer journeys. And we look forward to a fantastic day of content that we actually have lined up on the embedded wealth management stage. So thank you again.
And thank you for having me.